Hello, and looking at Fever Ray, uh, an album I bought, I think about 2 years ago, secondhand. This was a bit more expensive than a typical one that I'd buy. I think this was probably closer to $10. I've said before, if it's an album I really want um, by an artist I like, I'm willing to pay more. Anyway, this is a 2009 album. You can see it's in one of those cardboardy cases with a plastic kind of jewel case part in the middle. Um, and the front cover, I think it's quite cool artwork. It's done with I think it's like woodcut print, isn't it? That style, as far as I know. And that is, I believe, the artist behind Fever Ray, Karin, is it Dreja? She's Swedish. Karin Dreja. The J, I think, is silent in Swedish. Um, the first time I heard anything by her, I think, was when she worked with Röyksopp and the song, what is it? I don't remember the name of the song or whatever. It's on the album from about 2006. What else is there? Sorry, what else is there? On the Understanding, that's right. So that was one of the singles off that album, and it was a reasonably big song. I wouldn't say it was like in the charts or anything, but you used to hear it. I remember I saw the video on TV, and you'd hear it from time to time in different places. And her vocal was pretty cool in that song. After that was Heartbeats, I think, which is what she did with another band she has called The Knife, and The Knife is with her brother. And Heartbeats, I think the reason that song became big is because Jose Gonzalez, who's also Swedish, I think Swedish Argentinian or Uruguayan, Swedish, somewhere from South America, and a Swedish national. He did a cover of the Knife song Heartbeats, but completely different. If you ever heard the version done by the Knife with Karen and her brother, it's like a kind of very uh, bubblegum pop sounding, almost kind of kid-like sound, like very like happy and bouncy, and it's got a rhythm of a heartbeat. But Jose Gonzalez did just an acoustic guitar and voice version of it, and it became big because that song was used in a Sony TV ad. I remember it was the one with all the balls bouncing down a big hill. That would have been about 2005 or six. And so I heard that version first, the Jose Gonzalez version, and then I went back and heard the one by the Knife. I didn't really listen out to much else by the Knife. Maybe I did, but it didn't appeal to me or something. But the first song I heard from the Fever Ray album, was If I Had a Heart. Is that what it's called? The song number one. Yes, If I Had a Heart. And again, I saw the video for that. So, a lot of the music I heard back in the day was discovered through music TV. And it's got quite an interesting video for that song, where she's all painted up like a skeleton, and there's kids rowing a boat through a river or a swamp in the middle of the night, and they go into this weird deserted mansion, and it's quite interesting. But the song's cool as well, and the song was subsequently used in the opening titles of the TV series Vikings, which is, what is it, HBO or I don't know. I watched it on Netflix. Well, at least I watched like the first 3 seasons on Netflix. I gave it up after one of the big turns in the story, which if you've watched, you can probably guess. Um, and it's a good song. If I Had a Heart, and it's got, like I said, an interesting video. And then my girlfriend at the time, now ex-girlfriend, she downloaded the album, then she bought it. So she owned this. I remember I used to listen to it, and I put it on my iPod, I remember. And it's a pretty great album. How would I describe it? Is sparse electronic it uses electronic synth drum machine type sounds, but it's very sparse, I guess. Very doesn't have a lot of body to it. Doesn't have like beds of synth or anything like that. And it's all the better for it. Her voice, I guess, is one of kind of the main focus of it, and she uses a lot of effects on her voice, especially pitch shifting down to those kind of very low, almost sounds like a man's voice. You know, if you didn't know, actually, I remember I used to be a teacher a long time ago, and I played one of the songs for a class. This was an adult class, you know, an adult age, and it was in a music lesson. We were listening to different kinds of music from around the world, and I played one of her songs, and they all thought it was a man because the voice is so pitch shifted lower down that you could be mistaken for thinking so. But it's a pretty great album. For me, there isn't really a bad song on it. My favorite song is number 3, Dry and Dusty. That's a really beautiful song. Like in every way, the instrumentation or the sound of it, the music, and her vocals, again, very low, pitch shifted down, and the lyrics of the song. I'll look at this first. In that song, it sounds like a love song. Like she's saying, never leave me, walk close beside me. That's a poster. It's quite a cool, like I said, it's a cool image, I think. And then, actually, we'll look at the lyrics on this, because it really is one of my favorite of a song of the last, 15 years. It's one of the songs that I really remember the lyrics to, that I come back, and when I hear and listen to it, it makes me feel, that kind of feeling that you get when you listen to a great song, a great lyric. Here's Dry and Dusty. Never leave me, walk close beside me, your hand, my hand, fit so easy. So it sounds like, a typical kind of a romantic love song. Walk beside me, our hands fit together. No tomorrow, let us stop here. We did some great things, didn't we? Dry and dusty, I am a capsule of energy. You speak softly, we are capsules of energy. Now it's the last part, it's the bridge in the song that I really love. And she says, work as I've been told, in return I get money. Small feet in the hall, and I long for every moment. And maybe it's since I have a kid, and maybe it's since I've had a kid, a son, that affected me more. It's like, well, the way that I understand that, it's like she works because everyone understands we have to work. It's part of living in the modern world, postmodern world. In return, I get money. We get money for our work, and we need money to survive and to operate in society. Small feet in the hall. So small feet in the hall I take as like the feet of a child, the feet of a baby walking, that kind of sound. And I long for every moment. So I take that to mean she works because she has to, because everyone tells her she has to, as we've been told since we're children, we have to. But she thinks of her kid or her kids, and she hears the sound of her kids, and she wishes she could just be with them and stay with them, which is a feeling I have sometimes when I work long hours and shift work, really crazy hours, night and day, and all over the place. And sometimes it feels like I miss chunks of my son's life. And it's like once that's gone, it's gone forever. You don't get it back. And without being too cliched, they grow up so fast. And that song connects with me in that way. And who knows, maybe she's just talking about something completely different. Maybe I've misread it, but I guess that's the point of music, isn't it? Taking the feeling that you get from it, and it applies to you personally. The feeling I get from this album as a whole is kind of matches to the artwork of, it feels like you're walking through a weird little village at nighttime, and it's like the atmosphere or feeling of this weird little village in the night. The atmosphere, as usual, I'm lost for words. The mood and the sounds really fit together. When I grew up, 7 triangle walks, concrete walls. They all have a similar sound. The last song, Coconut, has quite got a long instrument part at the start, well, not a non-vocal part at the start. But again, it has that same kind of feeling, a very dreamy, childlike wandering through a town at night. Everyone else is asleep. All the houses are quiet. The lights are off. Maybe the street lights are on. There's a moon and stars. And maybe I've got it just because I've looked at this artwork so long, and maybe I'm too closely associating it to that. But that's what I feel, and that's the atmosphere it evokes for me when I listen to it and when I hear the songs. Got some really beautiful sounds on it. She's made other albums. And this is a weird thing because this is an album that I really like. I really enjoy and listen to quite regularly, but I've never bothered to listen to her more recent stuff, which is strange. Because some bands, when I listen to them, I find a new song with them and I like them. I'll go back through their whole discography and listen to everything. But then I don't know. Maybe part of it is that I like this so much, I don't want to be disappointed in the other stuff. Maybe it won't be as good. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe that's a silly reason, but yeah. I think they've been making music until relatively recently. I think they're still making right now. Let's have a look. Yes, so this was 2009. They made The Plunge 2017, and here we go. To be released on the 10th of March of this year, 2023. So this is what, in about 2 weeks, or a little over 2 weeks, Radical Romantics, a new album on the way. Isn't that a coincidence? She's also had a EP, which she did together with Bjork and The Knife, released in 2019. So there's stuff out there, and having done this, I might actually go listen to it. I have Spotify, so there's no reason why I can't just, listen to an album while I'm doing something or driving to work or something like that. Anyway, thoroughly recommend. Wouldn't give this a 10 out of 10. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Because like I said, a 10 out of 10 is a perfect album. And it's a great classic album, but perfection is difficult, isn't it? Very little is perfect. So yep, Fever Ray, excellent album, highly recommended. Thank you for watching.